This is a special Fight Night edition. It's time to enter championship round. This is 5-round MMA. I am Guillermo Cita. Are you guys upset that Tim Tebow got cut?
Well, as a Patriots fan, I am not. I'm Alex Ramirez, by the way.
I'm Albert Cita, and the only football I follow is fantasy football, and I don't have him on my team, so I don't know.
We begin this today's show with UFC Fight Night, a review of Condit versus Kampmann.
This happened last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is there anything on the undercard? Any highlights?
Sadly, I do have to say that Poppy got KO'd.
Last week, you also guaranteed that win for Poppy, right?
Yeah, I did.
It's
okay. It's only Poppy's third loss, and so
in a row. Oh, shit, I think he won his last fight.
And so, I mean, he's not completely done. I mean, he still has enough wins and not enough losses to still maintain a position here, and I hope that he stays in the UFC. I mean, he's still going to be in the prelims, but hopefully we see more of Poppy. But other than that, I don't really want to talk about.
I don't want to see no more Poppy anymore.
Anyways, there's not much else to talk about on the undercard. I mean, I think it went the way it was supposed to go.
Okay, so let's move on to the main card. We had Brad Tavares defeat Bubba McDaniel via unanimous decision.
Brad Tavares had Ray Sefo in his corner too, right?
Yeah, and Bubba, to me, didn't really show up in that fight. I mean, it was kind of like fizzled to me. It wasn't a good fight as people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and anybody coming out of Greg Jackson's camp has a little hype behind them, whether it's warranted or not. But I think he did have a little. And
John Jones talked a very great deal about him. I don't know if it's just because he was in his camp or if he was the real deal.
I was telling Alex the other day, I think Greg Jackson has the A group, B group, C group, you know, and on the attention they get from Greg Jackson. So.
Yeah, and it was an exciting fight, and Brad Tavares clearly won.
Yeah, he showed he was better that night.
So let's move on to the next fight. It's Takeya Mizugaki defeating Eric Perez via split decision.
I think this one hit a little close to home for all of us, right?
Well, okay, I'm gonna say this. First, I'll defend Eric Perez and then I'll bash him.
Okay, go ahead.
The defense is
the good news and the bad news.
Yeah, start with the bad news. It's always good.
Okay, let's start with the bad news. The bad news is
it's a compliment sandwich. Something
that
good,
is a horrible way to fight. Okay, it is exciting to throw it down, not care, and just let them fly. It's exciting. But no way does that show that you're a good fighter. No way does that move you up in the ladder. And no way can you be better competition that way. He wasn't being smart. He wasn't picking his shots. He wasn't really showing the technical side of Eric Perez. It kind of looked like he just wanted to entertain and go out there and swing for the fences.
I think his opponent, Mizugaki, he's well-versed in MMA. Yeah. He's a veteran. And he took advantage of it. He's okay. You want to bounce around and swing for the fences? I'm going to keep my composure and pick my shots and take you down when I have. So.
And then to defend Eric Perez, he did have that staph infection, a long layoff. I mean,
I think
a lot of stuff takes into consideration.
Only 23 years old.
Yeah, he's only 23 years old, so he probably only wants to fight like that. It's very appealing for him.
But then where was his corner at? Where was his Greg Jackson, another Greg Jackson fighter? Where was his corner at saying, calm down, pick your shots, you can win this. But no, all right, you're fine. Go
well, it's kind of like Max Holloway. Like, he's still young, and sometimes he's too good for his youth because he goes out there and fights like the fight that he thinks he should fight instead of actually being smart about it.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea to have Blue Demon Jr. on his corner.
Imagine.
that would actually help.
So the next fight we had McGee defeat your guys' boy McGee defeat Robert Whitaker via split decision.
That's Albert's boy McGee, right?
Well, first of all, none of these guys are my boys. Both guys are Ultimate Fighter winners. Both guys I don't care about. I was actually going for Robert Whitaker, and I thought Robert Whitaker would win the fight. McGee did take some punishment, but he was able to bite down that mouthpiece and keep on trucking. So, I mean, my hat's off to McGee. I still really don't get excited when I see his name on a card. So,
you might see him more. So the next fight is Calvin Gastelum defeating Brian Melison via submission in the first round.
And this was a late replacement too. Brian Melison took
former guest on the show.
Yeah, former guest too. Took this fight in short notice, but Calvin looked good at welterweight. I mean, he looked awesome.
Like a beast. Don't hold back your words. He looked like a beast at one.
He went in there and did exactly what he had to do. He didn't want to mess around. I mean, it only took him 2 minutes and 26 seconds to finish the fight, and he finished it in amazing fashion. And the guy looked like a beast. And I wish I'm glad he went to welterweight, and I can't wait to see more fights.
He's only 21 years old,
and he's only 21 years old.
Yeah,
it's funny how we're here hyping up Kelvin, and he wasn't really talked about in the Ultimate Fighter.
It was like
as far as when the season
like
was going on.
Uriah Hall, who now?
Yeah, it's like, oh, let's not talk about Uriah Hall anymore. Who cares about Uriah Hall? It's about Kelvin. It's amazing that this occurred.
Yeah. I think a wrestler who can finish fights is probably, I think, one of the most dangerous fighters out there, because he can control the pace of the fight and the ability to end opponents. So he's not going to bore people with his wrestling, but rather just control the fight. So Kevin Gastelum, watch out, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the next fight. Your guys' boy. This is really your guys' boy. I don't know why I'm not high on this guy. It's Donald Cerrone. I think his best days are behind him.
Any man that can wear a cowboy hat has my respect.
Well, yeah. But Rafael Dos Anjos defeats Donald Cerrone via unanimous decision.
And Donald Cerrone really needed this win to show that he's still relevant.
Because he remember he dominated KJ Noons.
Yep.
He completely tore that guy apart, and then he shows up here, doesn't even like really. Oh, there's a fight tonight.
Yeah. I mean, he even said he didn't even know who Rafael Dos Anjos was, and he should have known who he was.
Yeah, he said he didn't prepare for him because he was too worried about his style that. You know, Rafael Dos Anjos needs to worry about him.
Yeah, and Donald Cerrone's stock falls a lot, I think.
Yeah, he's 1-2 his last 3 fights.
He's kind of in a weird zone now, where like he has to take these weird fights, and they're not really going to matter if he wins.
No.
So, but that's what happens. And Rafael Dos Anjos moves up on the ladder, and I think we're going to see more Rafael Dos Santos in the lightweight division now that we have a new champion. He can get mixed up in there as far as title contender. Obviously, he has to face somebody else, but. Now he's in the mix-up.
Well, I think Dos Anjos is a 5-fight win streak now. I think.
Yeah.
So
and he's a good fighter. So
I think Donald Cerrone, we were talking about maybe a weight change, but his body frame was like perfect for 155, so he's kind of stuck there.
Yeah, it's not like he can drop to 145, and there's no way he can go up to welterweight unless he can pack on some muscle, which it doesn't look like his body frame will be able to hold those muscles. Yeah. But yeah, Rafael Dos Anjos, his last loss was against Glipson Tebow way back in UFC 139 in 2011. So he's been moving up the ladder quickly. And he defeated Evan Dunham, which Evan Dunham I think is no joke.
Yeah. So let's move on to the main event. It took some blood, smelling of some blood, for the natural born killer to actually come out, because the first
there's a reason why he's the natural born killer. He has to see the blood in the knife to do something. You know, if you don't see it,
like a shark.
Yeah, but Carlos Condit defeated Martin Kampmann via KO in the 4th round.
I'm gonna start. I'm like. After the fight was over, people were talking about Carlos Condit is back, but nobody seemed to point out the fact that Martin Kampmann took him down pretty easy in the 1st round.
Yes.
And his last 2 fights, those were proven. Carlos Condit's last 2 fights were proven to be his weakness. It was his takedown defense, and the fact that a striker the caliber of Martin Kampmann, who's known for his striking, who probably just practiced wrestling just for this bout, was able to take him down pretty easily. Yes. This is a red light saying that Carlos Condit is not ready to challenge for the title again. He's going to have to go through wrestlers to get a title shot.
What do you think he has to do to improve his wrestling? I mean, besides training, is the obvious.
Either to takedown defense or...
his camp is filled with wrestlers is what I don't understand. I mean, it wasn't like Kampmann was doing the best single legs in the world or the best double leg or the best anything. It's stuff that he could have stopped and he should have stopped.
Yeah.
And then the other chance, people were criticizing Martin Kampmann. He's a striker. Why would he go and become a wrestler? Well, because obviously Carlos Condit
is better on the feet.
Yeah. So I thought it was a smart decision, Martin Kampmann. He got caught at the end of the day, and Condit showed why he's a natural born killer. But if Martin Kampmann can take you down with those type of takedowns, you really need to work on that ground game.
I really think had this been a 3-round fight,
Martin Kampmann would have won.
Yeah, Carlos Condit loses his fight.
Yeah. So he was actually lucky that was a 5-round fight.
Exactly. So I mean,
they asked him like, "What's next?" He's all, "There's interesting matchups out there, but I want a title shot again." I mean, but to get that title shot, you got to go through wrestlers, man.
Yeah.
I think he might be at the point now where he's kind of like just picking and choosing a good fight from and to main event these fight nights.
Yeah. So I think he has a lot of stuff he needs to clean up before we see him back in the top 3. Yeah. Even though he's ranked in the top 3.
But as long as GSP and Johnny Hendricks are in front of his way, no way.
Yeah, unless he watches a couple more episodes of Breaking Bad and gets the Walter White instinct.
Well, it was the fight of the night, so it was a good fight, entertaining fight.
But as far as like his aspirations to a title shot, no.
Yeah, that comes from a Carlos Condit fan too.
Yeah, I love the guy. So
do I. So that's the review for Fight Night, Condit versus Kampmann. Now we're gonna preview UFC Fight Night, Beta versus Teixeira. Stay tuned.
Stick around. Yep.
please visit FiveRoundMMA.com on our social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. FiveRoundMMA.com. So before the tough premiere, we actually have a preview of UFC Fight Night Beta versus Teixeira.
I think we're gonna skip
we're gonna skip a lot.
This card is being held in Brazil again. It's like
So
they're like
a lot of Brazilian fighters we don't even know.
Yeah, so let's get to the top three because I think that's the important part.
Try to pretend what we're talking about.
I think the way it's being advertised is that you have Beta versus Teixeira, then you have the tough premiere of Ronda versus Tate.
Exactly.
But there is 2 fights you're actually really excited about. Let's start off with the first one. It's Joseph Benavidez versus Formiga.
Yeah, Joseph Benavidez, he's doing a 2-fight win streak since his loss to the champion.
Mighty Mouse.
And so this is his
division.
Yeah, this is his road because I think he wanted to prove himself first before he went for that title shot again.
Yeah.
And so another formidable opponent, I think. Of course, Joseph Benavidez needs this win. Of course, he needs a spectacular win. Because I think if he wins a decision, he's not going to be satisfied. I think you want to fight again before he fights the title. But if it's a devastating fashion and he wins big, then I think he's gonna be finally say, I'm ready to face the champion once again. And I think it matches up pretty good because I don't think there's nobody really out there for Demetrius Johnson to face at the moment.
Yeah, his opponent, Formiga's big loss in the UFC was to John Dodson. So, but like we've said before, these flyweights are all beating up on each other.
Yeah,
anyway,
I mean it's pretty much 4 people going at it or 5, whatever.
Well, it's 3, and then Demetrius Johnson. Which
and his other loss against Ian McCall, which surprisingly it's one of the 4 people we were talking about. So I mean, like it's just a big old mix pool. But the guy is legit. He's 15-2.
Yeah.
He has a lot of wins under his belt. And it should be a good opponent for Joseph Benavidez, but Joseph Benavidez still has to finish big.
This could cap off also a good month for the alpha males, right?
Oh, I know this will keep on adding to the resume because they're undefeated right now.
Seems like every week we're talking about the alpha males, huh?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, I know.
So let's move on to the next fight. It's time for the alligator.
If I could do it without messing up the mic.
We have Ronaldo Jacare Suaza versus Yushin Akami.
Yeah, and Yushin actually not fighting in Japan for a while. But Yushin is actually on a roll, on a tear. He just beat Hector Lombard, even though I think Hector Lombard won that fight.
So
I don't care what anybody says. But technically he won the fight, and he beat Alan Belcher before that, and he's running like a 3-fight winning streak. His last loss was to Tim Boetsch. Everybody remembers that.
Well, and he was winning that fight against Tim Boetsch.
Yeah, but I think people since it lost to Tim Boetsch, Okami kind of took back and started training with Chael Sonnen. Kind of almost reinvented himself now. I mean, it's not really.
He has a way stronger wrestling base now.
But it's not really a fan favorite. He's not really doing so many favors.
Especially
by the way
against the Hector Lombard fight, that was kind of
But I think
boring.
this bout is actually a pretty good bout for standing wise in the middleweight division.
Oh yeah.
It'd be a huge win for Jacare if he could.
I think so.
Huge win. And Jacare made a big impact, I think, in his UFC debut against Chris. I mean, he had that vicious arm triangle choke, and it came quick into the first round.
Yeah.
So he had an amazing debut in UFC. Previous to that, he was running a 3-fight win streak in Strikeforce.
Yeah.
And the guy does deserve to be up there in the top 5, I think, and he's going to show. I think he's really going to show against Yoshin Okami. I think he's a real deal.
I think if he beats Okami, you can mention him towards a possibility of maybe a #1 contender, like facing the top middle, which would be like a Vitor Belfort.
If Vitor wants to take the fight,
exactly. If he wants to take the fight, but you're talking about that type of caliber.
Yeah,
because
like
I think that's
maybe Mark Munoz.
Exactly. I really hope he gets the winner out of
Mark Munoz and Michael Bisping.
And Michael Bisping. This way we clearly decide who's going to face Vitor or the champion because we don't know if Vitor takes fights.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's move on to the main event. It's a light heavyweight bout. It's Brian Bader versus Glover Teixeira.
Our personal friend Glover Teixeira.
So is this fight more important for Teixeira or Bader? Like, okay, if Glover wins this fight, he wins another low-rated light heavyweight.
Yeah, but I think this also pretty much puts it. This is pretty much the money in the bank ladder match right here. Because if Glover Teixeira wins, he gets the briefcase, and I think he's allowed to cash it in whenever he wants.
I mean, because Teixeira with James Tuhuna, Crit and Rampage Jackson, Fabricio Maldonado, Cal Kingsbury. Before that, Rico Rodriguez. I mean, like, this Glover Teixeira we're supposed to see. Who's he supposed to fight?
Just to defend
him, Rashad Evans.
Just to defend him real quick because he's a close personal friend of ours. So I do want to defend him a little bit, and that is nobody wanted to fight him though. It's not his fault, and nobody wants to fight him.
Then make these. I don't know. Okay, but like a title contender after beating Ryan Bader. I mean, come on now.
Well, a lot of people have gotten a title contendership after beating Ryan Bader. Keep that in mind.
Like who?
Lotto Machida.
So what does it do for Ryan Bader if he gets the victory?
It's pretty much if he beats Glover Teixeira, I think they give him the title shot next. Think about it.
You think so?
Who else would they give it to?
Daniel Cormier?
Daniel Cormier is still on the fence. He still has to fight Roy Nelson,
which he's gonna win. So
but he's still on the fence about. I mean, until I see him at 205, we can't really say like.
You still have Chael Sonnen and Rashad Evans possibly.
See, but Rashad. Okay, if John Jones doesn't move up.
Is it just me, or is the light heavyweight division kind of a mess right now?
It's a mess because think about it. Ryan Bader has fought John Bone Jones.
Yeah, but this was very early in there. This is where
it's too decisive.
Split.
Oh, what about like if Glover wins, should he get Phil Davis?
That's the other person I wanted to bring up, Phil Davis.
Well, that's true. Okay. So there's a lot of mix-up. I still think if Ryan Bader wins,
I think we're all in agreement. There's like no clear number one contender now, right?
No.
After Machida lost and left the division, there's no clear contender.
There's no clear winner. But I really do think. If Glover Teixeira wins, I think he gets that Money in the Bank and he can catch it. I really do think so.
Just for simply being on a winning streak, yeah. But quality opponents, I don't think so.
Yeah, but again, he's been on the biggest win streak so far,
yeah.
But Ryan Bader, maybe he will have to face another Phil Davis or the winner Rashad.
I think in order to clear a number one contender, it has to be Glover Teixeira versus Phil Davis next.
That bout makes sense. Yeah.
If Glover Teixeira wins this fight, it has to. It has to.
Well, again, I think we have to see what's the outcome of Glover Teixeira and what's the outcome of Alexander Gustafsson and John Bones Jones, and then I think we can kind of figure out how they should do it.
Yeah.
But I really do think Glover Teixeira is literally on the brinks of a title fight.
I just think the light heavyweight is, it's trimming down. Like there's no up and coming risers.
Hey. When you diss Machida that way, that's what happens.
Well, it's gone from John Jones beating everybody, and all these guys get older now.
Dragon there.
Yeah. I mean, like Rashad
that's what
Evans
they get. That's what they
get.
You disrespect the dragon, this is what you get. It's simple as that. Don't disrespect the dragon like that. And look,
the dragon's not the champion.
And look how organized 185 looks now. Looks beautiful.
Ever since the dragon entered, order now.
Now that the dragon entered, it looks like a perfect order to me.
That might be a different conversation for a different day.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But. Yeah.
That's it for the UFC Fight Night. Bader versus Teixeira.
Yeah, so make sure after the fight, stick around. I know you see a ton of commercials for the Ultimate Fighter premiere. They've been on already, so I can imagine during this fight card, you probably see commercial every break for the Ultimate Fighter.
You'll also be able to check out our last show's interview.
Colleen Schneider, she was on our show yesterday.
She'll be there.
She'll be there on Ultimate Fighter in the house, fighting with guys, women, men, women together. Misha Tate. Ronda Rousey, a lot of drama.
Something tells me this should be on MTV and not on
the real
FS1.
All right, so I want to thank everybody for listening, and make sure to follow us on Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to check out FiveRoundMMA.com for weekly articles, commentaries, and the day's top headlines. I want to give a big thank you to our sponsors, Honey Badger Performance Energy Drinks. Go and grab yourself a scoop at drinkhoney.badger.com and get the most out of your workout. I want to thank the Madhouse Clothing Line. Go shop themadhouse.com and follow them on Twitter at the Madhouse MMA. Clothing apparel for the fight fan fanatics. I want to thank a big thank you to Top Rated MMA, makers of 100% American-made MMA apparel. I want to go shop topratedmma.com and follow them on Twitter at topratedmma. I'll bring some final words.
Yeah, I want to thank our executive producer, Guillermo Cita, our Technicians out there, Big Game, Ollie the Trolley.
Out there somewhere.
They're out there in the universe somewhere. And, of course, our sound engineer, Steven Rosal with Rosal Records. Check them out for all your sound needs. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and hope you like Ultimate Fighter.
The cream of the crop.